Hey everyone, Shawn and Moo at your service. Man, do we have an awesome show for you today. I got my grass whip. I got my orange whip. Haven't done an orange whip in a while. You don't want to miss that one. And we have our little volleyball, which was transformational to this man's focus. And you saw the title. What are you seeing when you're looking down at the ball at address? If you're seeing a golf ball to hit, you're already in trouble because the golf ball cannot be your target. We're going to show you how to collect the ball from where it is and release the ball into the flight plan that you want to go into so that the ball becomes a precise intersection. And this is going to give you awesome contact with the ball and about 30 yards longer, if that's okay with you, right? See you in a bit. And before we start, we would just, the pleasantries.
Yes.
We would love for you to join our team. Come on, join Moo, myself, and Sav, and Wisdom in Golf. Subscribe to the channel and do...
Oh, also hit that bell so you don't miss any future videos.
That's it. And give us a question, comment at the bottom. We'd be glad to answer you. If you have any doubts as to what's going on, we'd love to clear that up. All right. One of the great things about a volleyball is it's very light. And you don't want to use a graphite shaft, by the way, when you're moving through a volleyball. You get the opportunity to move the volleyball in a specific direction, right? So if you've got a direction to send the volleyball, go ahead and address that, Moo.
Okay.
Notice how Moo is cupping the iron around the volleyball. That's it. Because we're using the whole surface of the bottom of the shaft all the way to the toe of the club. So we're cupping the volleyball with that because if you look at impact position, go ahead and do impact. See how it moves behind it? Now look at how the face is square. This will give you a very important clue on how your grip club relationship should be closed enough that you get to go that way and not have to flip at it over here.
Correct. Yeah,
okay?
Right. Yeah.
So look at that impact position again.
Okay.
So what do you see right now when you're looking down at that volleyball, Moo?
I'm thinking about the release towards the target.
Exactly.
Straight.
So we have a nice plaque there from RBC Royal Bank.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we don't want to hit that.
Sure.
So I want you to feel like you're delivering that volleyball into that plaque. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're collecting the volleyball from where it is and releasing it into that direction right there, right?
Right.
Okay. Now notice how we've got the golf ball and the volleyball set up. You wouldn't want the center of each ball in the same position. You want the back of each ball in the same position so that you get to have both balls going towards your target. If you had the golf ball and the volleyball like this, you'd actually have the volleyball move more to the right than you would with the golf ball. So it's important that you put the back of the ball in the center of your stance so you get to move through it. Otherwise, so if let's say for a draw, we would play the ball a hair back of center, and for a fade, it'd be a little forward of center. You would do that with the back of the volleyball, for that particular purpose.
Right.
So now when Moo's setting up over here, we have an intermediate point that we're going to send that volleyball over.
Yeah.
And we've got a height. I would say, Moo, that this tree right here would be a good target for you to send that volleyball.
Yeah, I like that.
That make sense?
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Awesome. So we have a very specific height and direction to send the volleyball. Do you find that a little high, or are you feeling pretty good about it?
I feel pretty good about it because I'm going to be getting it underneath.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So it's like a driver.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So when Moo's going to be doing that, he's catching the ball slightly up because we got all that room from the ground through the equator.
That's it.
So that you give the ball some lift.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't do that with a golf ball. That's why we rely on the face of the club to do that.
Yeah.
But if you were hitting a driver, this is a fantastic exercise for you guys to catch the ball on the way up.
That's true, yeah.
Okay? So this would be just like hitting driver.
Okay.
So you can play it a hair forward.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Close.
Let's give that another try.
I forgot how loud that is.
You could play it a little more forward there, Moo.
Okay.
That's it. Ooh, nice. So you felt some really good compression there.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying, and when I looked at it from back there again, I'm going, maybe a little high.
Yeah.
So you basically were hitting it about that height right there.
Okay.
And that was really good.
Yeah.
So now if we take your golf ball and put it there,
Yeah.
go ahead and set up.
All right.
So you're getting ready to deliver the shot with a little draw, right? We're starting at a little left of the flag,
Yeah.
and we're going to draw it back toward that flag.
Yeah.
So what do you see when you're looking down at the ball?
I'm thinking about the left side of the flag. That's what I'm thinking about.
Right, so
Yeah,
that's your flight plan. You're starting it in that direction.
Yeah.
You're going to use the intermediate point to help you into that direction.
Yeah, that's right.
What feel are you using to deliver that way? Because it's not just I'm seeing that, because a lot of golfers tend to, they got the direction, so they're going to shove it that way,
Yeah.
or they're going to steer it that way.
Yeah.
What's the swing going to feel like when you deliver that way?
The feel for me is feeling the slingshot to the target using my legs.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's-
you feel like you're throwing the club
Yeah.
into a nice release
Yeah.
in that direction.
Yeah.
So that release is very close to, let's say, a baseball player's release of the bat.
Yeah. Okay.
So you remember with the volleyball, you were squeezing the ball in that direction.
Yeah.
So go ahead and set up to the ball.
Okay.
So if we had a door frame there and you wanted to squeeze that ball into the door frame, do you feel like that ball position is just a little too far back in your stance?
At address right now, I don't feel like it is.
It's just a little too far back in the stance, yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
So now take a backswing and stop.
Okay.
And show me what it would look like when you squeeze that ball into that door, through the door frame. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be using the weight of your arms and club to squeeze the ball to the left of that intermediate point and into that direction, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So we're using weight only
Yeah.
to deliver that action.
All right.
Wow. What a difference, huh?
Yeah.
Gorgeous shot.
Thanks.
So that was just a smooth 9.
Smooth on. Yeah.
So here's, in essence, what just happened. If I had a sledgehammer, I got the weight of my sledgehammer here, and I'm going to use the weight of the sledgehammer to squeeze that ball into the picture. That's what it would look like, right?
That's right.
So I'm going to use the weight of my arms and club to squeeze the ball to the left edge of that intermediate point. I'm going to go with a little fade into this pin. So I'm feeling that heft, and I'm using heft to squeeze that ball into that picture.
That was compressed.
Come on, kick left. All right, well, that'll work. So we have a very specific direction that we're squeezing the ball into. That's number one. So if you're looking down at the ball and you see a ball and you're getting ready to try and hit a golf ball, that would be like me saying to you, go to your car. And then you get to your car and you go, okay, where are we going? And I say, nowhere. And you go, well, you're a jokester, because that's no fun. That's right. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you're getting ready to do when you go, okay, I'm going that way. All right, now time to hit the golf ball. I'm going to make sure I don't miss the golf ball. I'm going to make sure I put the ball in the center of the face. I want to make sure that I got the inside of the ball. There's your destination. It's over.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how is your brain ever going to shift weight and clear your hips to go there when that's the terminal? We don't want any part of that.
No.
So let's look at another drill that's pretty cool here, Moo. I'm going to show you and this is something that really helped your release too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
So we get the orange whip out.
Thanks.
And the way that you would be doing it, so let's say we had a ball here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Is that the LS? Yes, it is. Moo likes to hit the low spin because
Yeah. Yeah.
can see ya. So we're setting up over that ball. Go ahead.
Okay.
And what we're going to be doing, your eyes are right there, but you're going to focus on taking that orange ball and send it into the screen to the left of that flag stick.
Yeah.
All right. So nice and smooth. Where did you feel the orange whip ball tug on you?
Right here.
Exactly.
Right
Do
there.
it in front of the camera, face on.
Okay.
So we're going towards the RBC plaque.
Yeah.
So throw it through that plaque. Did you got, wow,
Oh,
right?
turn me a little. Yes.
So I'm going to put this in stop action, and let's look at that right now. So Moo's eyes are down here, but in his mind he sees that RBC plaque, and you'll see how he's coming through, and then the trail arm is extending there toward that RBC plaque, and then when it gets to full extension, the anatomy has to give, and it leads you into this big snap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you feel that? Oh,
Yeah. I had to.
that thing really tugs. That's why it's be careful with
Yeah.
the orange whip that you don't overdo your strain,
Yeah,
because you don't want, you could really get hurt your wrists. So, but the main theme, if you swing it smoothly, even when you, let's say you go ahead and swing it smoothly like that.
Okay.
Feel like you're going to toss the ball gently to the RBC plaque. Did you not feel the same tug?
Yeah, I felt the same tug.
And I heard the whistling of the club in that direction.
Right.
So in your practice swings, whether you're doing it with an orange whip, whether you're doing it with a grass whip, if I'm taking this grass whip and I'm cutting through the grass, that's not through the grass. That's through the grass. So I'm beginning the cut here, ending the cut there, and that's where the grass whip releases my anatomy.
That's right.
So, and you're going to hear that sucker whistle way out there.
For sure. Yeah.
So if, let's say, this was a dandelion in disguise, and I'm cutting through the stem of that dandelion, it would look like this. So notice where I am right now. Like, I am so through that area and out into that picture.
Yeah.
The brain's going to go get the ground, use the ground to get my body out of the way. Notice my trail arm?
Yeah.
And it's coming. Look how open that thing is.
Yeah.
And now there's the beginning of the cut, end of the cut, and this is where it's going to catch up to my anatomy, and the anatomy releases, and then the ensuing momentum is going to rip me toward the target.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are struggling with the finish in your swing, you're going to have way more than what you bargained for, and you're going to have to learn how to dissipate the excess.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta learn to do that as well.
There's Arnold Palmer,
Yeah.
the helicopter swing. Bernard Langer in his prime, right? Beautiful helicopter finish. Bubba Watson, lots to dissipate there. So now that you know how to focus through and towards the target, I want you guys to look at a very important video called How to Put the Ball in the Way of Your Swing, Shawn Clement, so that you know how to predict ball position. So if the ball was over there and I want to cut that dandelion stem, I got to go after it. That's no good.
Right.
If the ball's over here and I need to cut the stem, I got to go back here to reach back for it to try and cut that. That's no good. But from here, it feels like I can cut right through it. Whether it's a little bit back or a little bit forward, if it's close to center, it's in the way of my swing.
Right.
If my grip-club relationship's too open, too closed, or just right, that's important for you to understand. If the distance between me and the ball is off, it will affect the way I move through the ball. So you're going to see a prediction process that's really, really important for you to understand. Our premium channel has what we call the Goldilocks series. That's the golden standard of prediction. And then once you understand how to put the ball in the way, then you're able to stay with your task of delivering your action toward the target. Then you get to have your cake and eat it too. All the best. See you next week.